You're free to film. You're free to walk around 6th Street. But stop accosting us. You are accosting us.
What is accosting?
You're coming up and making... You're sticking your camera in officers' faces at a very close range and asking questions that they don't want to answer.
You're going to see what happens when I pull my presser out.
When you pull...
Yeah.
To press on?
Press on. Press harder. Yep. Press now.
Yeah!
Press on. One of the people here. We got Wright and Conche and Floyd writing tickets, trying to tow cars and extort from the people. Once again, Shaw likes to keep these spaces open. And Shaw's across the street, I see Sergeant Shaw. Sergeant Shaw.
Yes, sir.
I was detained last night.
Okay.
By Sanchez. I don't think he meant to detain me, but he told me, you know, when I don't know if you know, I'm sure you know of the call, where some guy ran at him with a knife. He pulled his gun last night about 3-something. Okay, and I came up. He had the guy in cuffs already, sitting against the car, and he told me to stop. Right, and I said, "Can I go backwards?" And he said, "Stay there." Right, which means I was not free to go. But I'm not complaining, but I just am, you know, I'm never trying to get anybody in trouble, right?
Right.
But just some trading.
I'm going to fix this really quickly right now. I'm going to make this official.
Yeah. Press on. So I'm at 8, well, north of 8 on Trinity. I'm detained. I can't go over there. I'm detained.
Oh, we're investigating. There's a crime scene right now. You gotta stay right there.
Why? I can't even go backwards?
We don't have time for this. Crime scene with a knife. Stay right there and just listen.
So I'm detained.
Go ahead.
I have to stay right here.
Yeah, you can stay right there.
I'm detained.
Do you have a rolling backpack or was it on his back? The backpack. On his back.
Sanchez doesn't understand the difference between don't get any closer and stay right there.
Can you see if you have video about maybe 5 to 10 minutes ago of a white male chasing a black man who took his phone from him? He's not sure of the location, but it might be 6th and Red River.
White male chasing a black male, took his phone from him, possibly 6th and Red River.
Where'd you get the knife from?
Let's see if these guys are allowed to walk through.
$22, $24.
They're allowed to walk through. They're allowed to walk through.
Well, you weren't going to walk through. You were going to come up to me.
I asked if I could go over there. I was never going to come up to
We have
you.
another scene over here. So that's why there's 2 things going on right now.
Why are they allowed to walk through? I feel detained. So now he says there's another scene up there.
So do you want to press charges for that? So you said you had it in your hand, and you I had my phone in my hand. Like this, how? No.
It looks like he's in cuffs, but he's just...
You were texting or whatever on your phone? Yeah. Okay. And then what happened?
He grabbed the phone, I paid.
Threatened you out, what do you say? good idea to run at me with a knife?
Oh, shit.
Well, you were running at me and you had a knife in your right hand. That's why I pulled my gun on you.
He pulled his gun. Well. Alright, so we got a hopped up Officer Sanchez pulling his gun, which is probably justified if the guy was running at him with a knife, like he said.
I don't think you were obviously coming. I don't think you were coming at me. But I'm just saying. Where are you from? You have your ID on you? Where is it at? I'll get it. Where is it at? Mind if I grab it?
I'm really surprised there's not more officers here.
Why is your knee still?
There's sirens over there. That's about 6th and Red River.
Due to this incident, or? Yes. So I'm just gonna grab your ID. I don't put this one in. I don't suspect you do. Okay, but from the beginning of it, you were running at me with a knife. That's why you're detained. And I don't think it will. Because you were obviously chasing the other male. We're trying to look for him now, but I didn't know what was going on, so I can't detain both of you at the same time. You can walk through now. We're good. What's up, bro? Sorry. Yeah, just hang around over here.
Oh, Zori's here now. Yeah.
Said, can I go backwards? And he said, stay there, right? Which means I was not free to go. But I'm not complaining, but I just am, I'm never trying to get anybody in trouble, right?
All right.
But just some
I'm going to
trading.
fix this really quickly right now. I'm going to make this official. No one has ever told you can't film. How close you get is dictated by the officer who is on the call. You don't have a right to step up wherever you think you may want to. If the officer is uncomfortable with how close you are, he can tell you to stop and back up. If you don't back up, you may be arrested. You can argue it in court if you want, but you have been pushing the limits. And I've got multiple complaints in my office for the way you're interacting with them. Feel free to film. It's your First Amendment right. We're not going to tell you to stop. But how close you get to the officers is dictated by the officer's comfort level, not yours. If he tells you to back up, I would suggest backing up or you may get arrested. You can argue it in court later, but you may be arrested. Okay? You seem to think that you have a free-for-all to get as close as you want to on a case or a call. That's not correct, sir. You don't have the freedom to just do whatever you want to in terms of a call. The officer dictates who's allowed inside his perimeter, not you. If he tells you to back up, then you need to back up. If he tells you to stop, it's because you got too close to the call. He wasn't detaining you. He was telling you that you weren't close enough. I've already spoken to the officer about it. So your definitions and semantics that we keep playing about whether you were detained or not, no, it's not going to play anymore. If they illegally detain you, I will fix that problem. However, telling you to back up or to get out of their call space, that's perfectly within their rights as peace officers. I'm sorry if you don't like it, but that's the way the cow ate the cabbage.
You have no arguments with me there.
Okay, so then stop coming up and telling me every little thing has gone wrong.
This is not a little thing.
It is a little thing. You didn't like the way you were talked to and told that you were too close to the call.
No.
So you want to come find a supervisor all night long. We're having to stop everything that we're doing and trying to effectively supervise our officers because you keep calling for a supervisor over things where officers haven't done anything wrong because you think they violated your rights.
That's right, I do.
Well, the phone number is 512-974-9090. That's the Office of Police Oversight. You are welcome to call them and file a complaint anytime that you wish. So far, every supervisor that I've talked to that has spoken to you has said that you're talking to them has not resulted in the officer doing anything wrong. So it's the boy, quiet wolf kind of scenario. Pretty soon it's going to be annoying where we have to keep coming out and listening to you give false accusations at officers. Tonight you accosted Officer Schramm on Congress for doing nothing
Did
wrong.
you say
with
accosted?
You went up and were all yelling at him about crossing the double yellow line.
They were headed southbound on Congress and then crossed the double yellow in order to park here. That's called privilege. That is definitely called privilege. Privilege is a beautiful thing, Shram.
Privilege.
Yeah, that privilege you just exercised.
Sorry?
Hey, can either of you tell me the code for crossing a double yellow line?
The code?
Yeah, for crossing a double yellow line.
Like the actual number statute code?
Yeah, do you know?
No, I do not know.
I mean, you exercised the privilege that the badge granted you by crossing that double yellow line right there. I think the least you could do would be to pull that code up just so I know the code.
If you want to look up, you can do more for you.
Tonight you accosted Officer Schramm on Congress for doing nothing
Did
wrong.
you say
with
accosted?
You went up and were all yelling at him about crossing the double yellow line. For your information, sir, Section 545 of the Transportation Code says absolutely nothing about turning or U-turns across the double yellow line. You're not allowed to cross it to pass. So he did absolutely nothing wrong except you wanted to argue the point. That's all you want to do is have a discussion that you want to turn into a friggin' debate. We don't have time for it. And I'm going to be perfectly honest. I no longer want to talk to you about it. I don't want to have any conversations with you. So if it's not an official complaint where I have to officially take official action on it, I don't want to talk to you anymore. You're welcome to film me. You're welcome to stand close by me. If you get too close, I will tell you to back up. But I don't want to have any more personal conversations with you because you appear to have an agenda that we don't want to have to deal with. You're free to film. You're free to walk around 6th Street. But stop accosting us. You are accosting us.
What is accosting?
You're coming up and you're sticking your camera in officers' faces at a very close range and asking questions that they don't want to have to answer. If you don't need necessarily police interference or help on anything particular problem, we don't want to talk to you. The officers know your rights. They're not going to violate them, and they're going to protect your rights, as Officer Zoli did the other night when he told somebody else that he couldn't talk to you.
He sure did.
But when we're just standing here watching the crowd, not doing anything, it's a little annoying to have a camera shoved in your face all night. Now, I'm not saying that you're not authorized to do it or allowed to do it by your rights under the First Amendment. Fantastic. But it's a little annoying.
It is.
So it is what it is. So I've already officially told you, unless you have a legitimate police concern where I have to take official action as a supervisor, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Well, how would we know if you have to take an official
Well, then you have
action?
to go up and ask me, and I'm going to ask you what I can do to help you. And if it's not an official problem where I have to take action, I'm going to tell you I don't want to talk to you, and I'm going to walk away. If it's something that I need to take care of business, I'm a professional, and I will take care of it in a professional manner. But I don't want to talk to you anymore.
So, did you watch the body cam footage from last night? I mean, you're saying you
I will
talked to
go
the
and review
officer.
I will go and review it for you. And if you did anything
No,
wrong,
I don't-
I will correct it. You said you didn't want to file a complaint.
I don't. I wanted to say there's a difference between saying don't come any closer and stay still.
You know what? I'm not even going to argue the point with you. You said you didn't want to file a complaint. So unless you're filing a formal
Right,
complaint that I need
because-
to investigate, we're done talking about it. The officer had a man with a knife. He pulled his gun and he told the officer to get down. He complied. He took him into custody with no harm to anybody. What exactly happened? I'm not going to give you a press brief every time my officers take action. It's that simple.
All right.
So it's simple. Unless I can officially help you in my capacity as a police officer and as a sergeant of the Austin Police Department, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
So the people don't have the right to redress their
I'm
government
telling you,
for
if I don't
grievances?
help you in a professional manner as a supervisor or a police officer for the city of Austin, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm not required by any law, statute, or policy to have a personal conversation with you.
That's right.
And you can't make me.
I can't.
So, we're done talking, sir. Have a pleasant evening.
Well, see, that is a definite hot temper. You know? That's a definite temper we got here. Absolutely. We'll have to keep the pressure on Shaw because we have finally got to him, you know? That's the truth right there. That's the truth. That's what we're dealing with is a drill sergeant. And I knew I would break through the wall.
What is it you say? You're like, press on. And you're like, yeah.
Press on.
And then you
Assemble forth. Legion about.
Legion about.
Sound off. Amble. Pursue happiness with your life and your liberty on your property. And for God's sakes, exercise your Fourth Amendment right as one of the people not to be in your person.
Whatever that means.
Press on. Yeah. Have a good day, Officer Fox. Press harder. Press now. Like, comment, subscribe. Spread the word. Right? Press on.
Master by the name of Bates, smoking more than all 50 states combined. Yeah, right, I gotta stay on the grind. I got no money, so my weed's on my mind. I hit the club, but you know I can't dance. 7 and 7 in my cutoff chance. Had that shirt in my long ass hair. What part of how I look makes you think I care?